All right, you guys, you all should be stoked and ready to step up into the best, most fashionable version, most version of yourselves, most fashionable, presentable, beautiful, gorgeous, vibrant, sparkly, shiny gold version of yourself. Hello, Rose Jubb. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you today?
I'm so good. I'm so good. And like I said, I love that backdrop because you designed that yourself.
I did. I did. I
Oh.
have it's my strengths lie in visual math and art things and just like just being creative in general. So it's good that I do what I do because otherwise my house would be full of murals like this, and that's not fun for anyone to look at.
Well, like I said, you can come over to my house and do that because clearly my backdrop is different. So I had to put on a pink shirt so that I somewhat blended with you here. But Rose, I just adore you. You are so much fun. And I'm so grateful to have you back at the Soul Success Summit for now a virtual retreat.
Yeah.
And having you speak last year was so fun because I just remember you talk about personality in your pink jumpsuit, talk about branding and visibility and confidence. And so when I asked you to come back, I'm so glad that you were a hell yes, because I like to keep that same energy, that same momentum and trust of sisterhood and community moving forward with events. So thank you for being a yes.
Oh, thank you for asking me and having me be in the book as well. That was so fun to read everybody's stories, and it was touching, and I laughed and I cried and laughed and cried writing mine too. And
Me
it
too.
was fun to do that and be asked back. So I'm happy to be doing it.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So I want our audience to know a little bit more about you now that they have a little bit of a backstory and how we've connected through the event
Yeah.
as a speaker and as a contributor to the Soul Success book, which, by the way, if you guys have not picked up your copy yet, make sure to read, of course, the entire book, but read Rose's chapter because I feel like it's so relatable the way that you talk about perfectionism and ADHD, and you really own it. Like, I could relate to so many things in my life where I felt like I was insignificant or that it would be an
Yes.
obstacle that would interfere with my success. And you've actually turned it into your greatest superpower.
I have. Oh, well, yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm owning it and working it. And it's amazing the people that have contacted me and said, oh, when I read what you do, like, cause I'm a wardrobe stylist and an image strategist, and I have a background in marketing and psychology. Yes. But they were expecting like fashion tips or,
Mm-hmm.
funny fashion malfunctions or something like that. But I really, in the book, wanted to talk about the perfectionism and how it can cripple us and just like rob us of
Mm-hmm.
all the confidence that I feel like we just automatically have when we're little babies, and it gets piled on top of with everybody else's judgments and society's messages and like all these things package up on top of it, and we just have to spend the time getting down to it, and perfectionism will not let you do that. And like just struggling with ADHD in general is a struggle that a lot of entrepreneurs have. So I wanted to talk about it because we kind of end up making our own spaces because we don't always fit in other spaces. So
Yep.
I thought it might be important to just share to get other people talking about it, because it's not a big deal. It's just like my brain works in amazing different ways than other people's brains work in amazing different ways.
Yep.
Pretty fun. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Well, and I think it's pretty interesting to hear you talk about perfectionism in that way because you have built a brand that I think a lot of girls, and don't take this the wrong way, but I think a lot of women might see, wow, like Rose she speaks eloquently. She has this beautiful backdrop. shiny, sparkly teeth and hair. And like, you're trying to tell me that you're not perfect?
No, far from it. I yell at my kid too much, just like everybody else during COVID. And
Who does that?
I kill houseplants, like just murder, murder, murder. All the houseplants dead.
Same.
There's lots of things that, and I think also perfectionism is kind of touted as like this faux. It's like when you're in interview and they say, what are your biggest strengths and your worst traits? And somebody goes, well, I'm a perfectionist. And sometimes it's seen as something that is almost like this quality in somebody that's positive, when in reality, so many more people struggle with it than they think, because it's not about looks all the time or like visual things. It's more about control. It's just like, can I control this when it feels out of control? I'll just and a lot of us struggle with it, and we think it's a good quality when it cripples us. It can keep you from showing up and getting visible. And I think that's another part of why I wanted to talk about it, is because in the business that I'm in, where I'm helping coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, podcasters, people that need to be visible and say they want to be visible, they always, there's something about a confidence link and the perfectionism link that keeps them from showing up. It's because they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to be, they've been told they can't be wrong. They can't be this. They can't be that. They can't be curved. They can't have dark hair. They can't have curly hair. Like all these things. And again, it's just like somebody else's judgments piled on top of your confidence. And it keeps us from showing up and like sharing our gifts. What's the point of having them if we're not going to show up and share them? So just get it all out of the way and do the thing.
I think you hit the nail on the head on that. I know that if I thought anything of mine was going to be perfect, then I wouldn't have a business. I'd be sitting in a cave, just scrolling through Instagram saying, oh, yep, there's another one. There's no. Right. So I think that's a really important lesson, because a lot of us don't even act upon our ideas because we feel like it's not going to look a certain way and it's not going to be like somebody else's idea of perfection. When if we can just learn to throw that out the window, then there's so much freedom that comes with that.
And it's an ever evolving issue. Like I will never escape it. I will never escape that those books will pile back up if I don't keep them cleared off my confidence. Like it will keep happening if I let it. And I will keep trying to be a perfectionist if it's my default, if I don't get on top of it and know it's happening. Yeah. So like even with COVID happening, a lot of my business owning friends there's some of us that have like had to take a little bit of a step back to deal with all the home stuff, like everybody's home all the time. We've had to deal with that. And then you end up accidentally taking a break, and then you feel like you can't, like that's perfectionism right there. I can't restart because I took a break. And how am I going to explain the break? Or how am I going to, like, do I have to apologize for taking a break? And like, I can't do this until this is done. Can't do that until this is done. And it's all just us getting in our own way. Ugh. And I do it too. I'm coming right out of a cycle of it too, and just did a webinar, and I'm hopping on with you. Like I will always struggle with this, but we can help each other kind of rise past that. I think it's just time to let it go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just keep doing what you can, and that's all you got.
That's all you got.
It's all you got. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind shifting gears, because I know that some people are watching are coming to the retreat. Some are not even really sure what the virtual retreat is. And as a keynote speaker, I really want people to get a sense of who Rose Jubb is and what you will be training on next week at the retreat.
I am talking a lot about confidence, because that is the thing that kind of drives us. It's a little bit different than what I talked about last year, thank goodness, because there's some rad chicks coming back and I want them to learn new things. But I am talking about brand style buzz. So feeling really good in your own skin, feeling really good in your own closet, in your own business, so you can be completely you, as much you as possible at every formality level. And just giving some tips and tricks on that, but really a lot about like, how can we break out of these cycles of not getting visible because of something that's like low confidence issues. We all have them, and if we all stay quiet, none of us are going to grow. So if you have that kind of business, the consulting, the coaching, an author, a speaker, like, you need to be visible. And here's some easy ways on how to do that and like start the process without getting in your own way. So, and feeling really good about it, just like feeling that buzz, because everybody's had that day where they did feel amazing. Even if it's just one day, you can remember leaving the house and being like, I am feeling myself. Let's do this. And you had a great day. You didn't think about what you were wearing, but it contributes, because the woman in the mirror, like, if you can keep yourself from dragging her down, like, you're limitless. You have no limits. If you can stop talking about her, like, you're her biggest fan. Like, if you're not a fan of her, who else is going to be? So let's start intentionally,
so much,
like, putting her out there. Because we often will cheerlead a friend or a colleague more than we cheerlead ourselves. So I think the self-care of getting dressed in a way that makes you just kind of feel like this little happy buzz and creates a buzz wherever you go, that is magic that you can sprinkle in your life no matter what your style is. So that's what I'm talking about.
Well, I know I'm going to be taking notes. And it's really funny because, like, I changed shirts before this. I wasn't sure if we were going to go live. I was wearing a black shirt and I was like, I got to put on something pink to match her backdrop. Even though my backdrop isn't as cool as Rose's, I can at least wear a pink shirt.
We all have our own styles. Also, we always show up in the same color shirts. Did you?
I did know that. Like, last time,
and this time,
what's that?
It was black. Last time was gold, and this time was black, and you changed it. What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? Oh, my apologies.
It's okay.
By the way, who wears gold? I never wear gold. And for whatever reason, I woke up and I was like, I have to wear gold today.
Yeah, we were bringing the gold energy that day. I don't know what it was, but we did show up twinsies.
We were twinsies. And another thing I was thinking about when you were talking was, you ever see the Facebook memories of like when you go live, like when you went live like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Anytime I see that, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, what do they say about that? If you don't, it's a quote about writing, but I think it applies to Facebook too. If you don't look back at your old content and cringe, you haven't grown.
Yeah. So at first I was like embarrassed. And then I'm like, well, at least I've grown since then, light years. Like wearing a sports bra, nursing a baby with like pale complexion, my hair needed a haircut. So it was really nice to see the transformation. And I'm sure you've had a big piece to that as well, being in your orbit.
Just being around. Yeah, I can't wait for the event. And I keep in my head thinking we were talking about how we keep imagining it as in person, but I'm actually quite pumped that it's virtual just for the networking part. Like, I can't wait to see all these beautiful ladies like laid out in front of me, gallery view. I want to see everybody.
Yeah. No, it's so fun. It'll be interesting since it's our first time going virtual, but I'm super pumped about it. We have lots of ladies showing up who wouldn't have been able to show up if it was live and, come to Sun Valley, Idaho. And so I'm so grateful for this platform. I'm so grateful for you. I'm stoked to take notes, to spruce up my closet and learn some style tips and tricks. So, Rose, If people want to find
Oh,
you
yeah.
before seeing you speak at the virtual retreat, where can they
Yeah.
do that?
They can head to mystyleclass.com, and it's My Style Class on Facebook and My Style Class on Instagram, and you can find all sorts of different content pieces everywhere, so head on out and follow me. And I can't wait to see everybody.
And you also have a podcast and a TV show.
I do. Oh yes, that's right.
Did you
A
forget?
podcast called The Boss Closet. It's on iTunes and everywhere you listen to podcasts, which kind of talks about style, which is funny because it's not a visual medium, but there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this, as you can tell. I can be verbose about it. But I also have a show on Amazon Prime. There's a 3-episode pilot out there of a makeover show that I helped produce here in the Pacific Northwest. So you guys can check that out there too. It's called Closet Goals.
My daughter loves watching it, just so you know.
Oh, that breaks my heart. Every time you say that, I'm like, little girls.
You might need to mentor her because she is like ready to start her own clothing company tomorrow. So we'll see.
Do it. She doesn't have as many books on top of her confidence.
No, not when you're 7.
Not when you're 7.
I think that's when it began. So hopefully we can nip that in the bud.
Well, I think she has a good mentor in you and a good example in you. So
thank you. Great. That means a lot.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
I appreciate you. You guys check out Rose Jubb and check her out at the Soul Success Virtual Retreat. So if you haven't grabbed your ticket, make sure to go to thesoulsuccess.com. You can learn more about Rose and the rest of the speakers, and hopefully we will see you all there. Until next time. Bye-bye.